So hello everyone, this is the Sports Show podcast, and today we're joined with Paddy Barnes. How are you, mate?
Okay, Dara, how are you keeping?
Yeah, I'm alright, thank you. So we'll just get straight into talking about boxing. So what got you into fighting whenever you were younger?
Well, I only started boxing because I used to do it with my friends and basically just to fit in. Um, I actually remember it was one Wednesday night, it was raining in the street, playing football in the street. We were kids and my mates were going to boxing, him and his big brother, Graham. I just followed them down and that Sunday I was fighting. So I fought like one day's training and over 2 days training. My first fight. A lot of my early days in my career, I never trained. Like I used to box for a club in our class, and I would have trained once or twice a week, twice at the max. But then I started when I was about 14. Then I would have because I still boxed in our class, but a few clubs in Belfast would let me train there. So like of Saints, it Harry, who's now passed away, but Harry. His two sons training there, and John George, a few are cracking box from Saints, and they let me train there. I've trained in Newton, I've trained in Belfast Cronk, and I trained as well later on in my career at Holy Family. And then when my club in our class closed, I just stayed with Holy Family, and that's the club I've been with the longest.
Yeah, and we'll just go talking about straight into your amateur career. You fought at the 2007 World Amateur Championships, which then made you qualify for the Olympic Games. How did that feel for you? Just to qualify for your first Olympics?
It was great. To be honest with you, at that stage, like obviously I watched the Mir Khan in the Olympics in 2004, but I didn't really know what the Olympics were. So, for me, the biggest tournament was always the World Championships. That's the one I aim for all the time. I didn't really care about the Olympics. And then at that stage, people thought, I was loving it, but it was only me going. I didn't really like the coaches. I didn't want to go because I would have been stuck with Emmons. But thankfully, a few other boxers qualified and I had like a team of six maybe or five or six, which made it good. Like so, it was a good experience. Like
yeah, and then just before you went to the Olympics, then you won gold at the Commonwealth Games in 2010. How was it to win gold for your country?
Yeah, so I said 2010 I won 2 gold medals. The first one was at the European Championships in Moscow.
Yep.
And then going to the Commonwealth Games later on that year, I was obviously the favourite because like Europeans is like Champions League compared to Commonwealth Games is like Guys League. You know what I mean? The big massive difference in Commonwealth Games and Europeans. But winning then 2 gold medals that year, it wasn't because I was better than anyone else. It's because like I kind of worked out the system. All you need to do is put your hands up, take guard, and pick your shots. People who are far better than me, like skill wise, classy, but I just knew the game, like how to win the fights, how to score the points, and they didn't. But because I won them 2 tournaments, the qualifiers the year after, and I really thought, Olympics for the following year, I very good chance of me being an Olympic gold medalist.
Brilliant. And then obviously you went to the Olympic Games. It was in China, is that right?
Yeah, China. So they were 2008, and then London 2012, and then Rio 2016.
Brilliant. How was your experience in China at the Olympics?
China's amazing. The village, everything was class. Obviously, it was my first Olympic Games. A second multi-sport event. So the Commonwealth Games have been 6, but it was amazing. One morning, I was having breakfast with Zola. And you're walking past all these famous tennis players and all. And I hadn't a clue they were like, but when I come home, obviously I watched bits of it and I found out who they were. But yeah, it was a real different experience. When you're fighting tournaments where it's only boxing, but now you're in a village with the top athletes in the world, and you're boxing them how they eat, how they train. It's just be silly stuff. You trying to like copy them or take on board what you think might work for you.
Yeah, and then you went to the Olympics in 2012 as well. How did that feel for you to go to your second Olympic Games then, straight after that one?
Yeah, and I actually after the Olympic Games in 2008, I thought, it's a very hard qualifying. 4 years, a long time away, so it may never be an Olympics again. But then qualifying for second games is unbelievable because I don't know if it's been 12. Yeah, well, I mean, me and John Am who qualified. No, John Am would have qualified before me. So, in history, no one from the north, I think, have qualified for 2 Olympic games. So it could have been history was good. I think there's been two, like remember Colley, been 2 Olympic games, but he never qualified. And when you won All Ireland, you get sent basically. So I'm pretty sure. So I ain't saying that anyway. But so it was class to get the London, London again, the village, everything was brilliant. I knew a lot more about the Olympic Games. I knew a lot more about the different athletes competing. You know, when I was in Beijing, I don't think anyone had even heard of Usain Bolt. But obviously in London, you know, you see them in the open ceremony and that there, and you know, a lot of people just it was a lot more tuned in, and it was a better experience.
Yeah, brilliant. And then obviously you went to the Olympics in 2016 in Rio, a lot bigger of an event maybe, the likes of Mick Conlon and stuff you went. And I'm right in saying that you were the bearer of the Ireland flag that year?
Yeah, so 2016, though, like, for even to qualify out there, it was really, really hard. Myself and Mick Conlon qualified at the same time. We fought for an Italian team called Italian Thunder. This thing called the World Series of Boxing. So it was like 5 rounds with no head guard, no vest. So we qualified for that. We've traveled all over the world fighting, and both of us qualified for that. So what, like basically 18 months before Rio even started. But to be honest, it obviously because it was flag bearer, it was unbelievable. Like for me, kind of flag is basically the same as winning the medal because I can say it because I've done both. But so proud to lead the country out in the biggest sporting event in the world. But the tournament itself, for me, I struggled with my weight. And people are going to be like, why did you plan for this here? You know, you knew you struggled. Why can you like do something about it? But no one knew until like the week before the fights that the weigh-in was like 8 in the morning and the first fight was 11. Like I've never had that my whole life. I've always struggled making weight. I've always felt fit and strong come fight time. I've always had more of a gap from the way into the fight, and now obviously that affecting performance. Beat by Spanish guy, he wasn't great, but I was poor. Even though it was a close fight, but it didn't really matter because I might have won that fight, which I probably could have. I would have fought the Colombian next, and the Colombian wasn't great there, but he was relentless, and because of my weight making, I probably would have died off. And the Colombian went on to win the silver medal.
Yeah.
But you're talking about like experience in Olympic Games. Rio was terrible. That's because obviously I lost, but the village wasn't even finished. It was in the middle of nowhere, the village, and it was just a terrible place. The food was stinking. Everything was bad about it. Like.
Yeah, and then just a wee bit before you said about the traveling side of boxing. Do you enjoy the traveling side of boxing? Do you like traveling to all different countries around the world?
It's good to say we're in different countries in the world, but like to be honest with you, I've been the feeling of games for Ireland, but I would argue that, you know, I've fought the least any of the teams that I've been on. I probably the least kept Irish fighter because I never went to any tournaments, like any multi-nations, because I was scared of flying. I hated it. So I always used to pretend I was injured to get out of going to tournaments because come fight week and a couple of weird to fly. So, I was sick or hurt my hand because I hated flying. So I'm probably over that fear of flying, you know, I think it would have been better, but because we were traveling all the time, so where I hated it, too much flying, I hated it.
And then a few years after that, or even just straight after, you became a professional then. What sort of made your choice a lot easier to become a professional? And do you think that was because you already went to 3 Olympics, you've done everything?
Yeah, that's that. To be honest, that's the only reason why I turned pro, because, you know, I would have been I made the decision before Rio. I thought, you know what, this was my 3rd Olympic Games, you know, what more can I go to? You know, I felt that I wanted a different challenge. And I met MGM, who were NTK, and we agreed, you know, I'll go professional. But I made sure I said before I was saying with anyone that sorry, that I don't want to play any journeyman. I mean shooting deep end. I want to world titles as fast as I can because like you look in Belfast, there's loads of world champions, and even Ireland there's loads of world champions. But because I made a history as an amateur, I wanted to make history as a pro. So I didn't want to be the same, just another world champion. I want to be the fastest. And they agreed. You know, third fight, fought for a title, world title challenger. Fifth fight, I fought for an hour belt. And then my sixth fight for world title. I lost, but you know, I have no shame on whatsoever. The guy who actually fought in the fifth fight, he actually drew the world champion who beat me. But no regrets whatsoever. You know, people say you could have stayed on longer and fought for more money and that there, and just, but it just never interested me. I just wanted to be the best, and to get beat, it's because I wasn't good enough. And so what can you do?
Yeah, and as you just said there, whenever I was actually researching your different fights and stuff, you actually had a lot of fights generally within like 2 to 3 months at a time. You know, like
Yeah.
I think I seen one you had in maybe August, and then you had another one in October. You know, they were very close apart.
Yeah, so that one in August and October, I think the tour one was world title fight. Was it? Actually, it wasn't. August was. But I mean, they were like a warm-up fight for a title fight. So that's would have been like the one in August would have been in Edinburgh, and then the other one would have been in Belfast. Just like a warm-up fight for me.
Yeah.
But that's and plus because I want to be fast tracked. No, because it was 31 maybe at the time.
Yeah.
The time wasn't really on the side, and plus the way I fought, the way I fought my train, even from younger amateur days, the timing was a lot slower, speed was a lot slower, and to be honest, that's what I retired for, because I could have fought journeyman, but for what? So I knew it wasn't going to be the best because obviously it was too old, and the timing was terrible.
Yeah. And then you went and you fought for the vacant WBO Intercontinental Flyweight title at the SSE Arena. Do you prefer to fight at home in front of all your mates so your mates can come support you? Do you find that a lot easier rather than fighting away from home?
No, I actually find it easier fighting away from home because, you know, a lot of people probably don't admit this, but if you fight at home, there's 10 times more pressure on you. Like you're fighting in front of absolutely everyone in your hometown. You'll be like the loser, but when you're fighting away, like England or something, the UK, like there's not many people there to watch you. So like from your hometown or home country, so there's a lot less pressure on your shoulders. There's more pressure on their shoulders trying to perform if you're fighting them in their own backyard.
Yeah, and then after that fight, you fought at Windsor Park. Card Frampton on his card, same as Tyson Fury as well. What was it like on the run up to fight week as well? Fight night, being along the likes of the big names such as Tyson Fury.
You asked like the fight week, I didn't really care about anything because I was making weight, so I was annoyed, hungry, dehydrated, all that there different glamour stuff, you know, with Tyson Fury being there, like, and obviously Card Frampton's fight week. Everyone's there to see Frampton, like, but I didn't care about that there. I stayed in my hotel room, didn't deal with no one, unless I had to. But you know, it was a massive football stadium. It was great to be a part of such a massive show as well, in Belfast.
Yeah, and then I think Sean McComb, I've had Sean McComb on, and he was saying about the times in Nando's, actually, whenever Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder had that sort of brawl. Were you there at that time?
No, and that wasn't Tyson Fury, that was actually Billy Joe Saunders.
Was it?
Billy Joe Saunders
Right, okay.
who had a fight with him.
Right.
But I wasn't there. I didn't know why. I was probably in bed at the time. But 10 o'clock at night, that's definitely in bed because it's obviously I'm a fight next day.
Yeah, and then after that, after that big event, then you fought and made your US debut. What was that like? The fight in America?
Yeah, it was class. You know, the fight obviously in the Walsall Garden, unbelievable. Especially fighting alongside my mate Conlon. So it was brilliant. I was offered a fight. What was that the fight? I think about offered. Oh yeah, so in December, actually after the world title fight, I was due to fight in Manchester on Warrington Bill, and you know what happened was I was told I was fighting at a certain time, and it never happened. And then it got to 12 o'clock, and it says, "Paddy, you're on next," and I wasn't on next. They messed me about, saying, so it got to like 12:30, so I just took the gloves off because I didn't think it was fighting. And this went home. But Frank wanted to clear her own show, that's probably why. But and then I didn't fight there. I got the opportunity to fight in America. Obviously big show, so it was brilliant. And because obviously I'm going to flyweight, there's not much flyweight in America. They gave me an option to fight between 3 bantamweights, and obviously they're a lot bigger and stronger than me because I'm a flyweight, they're bantamweight. But it was too big of an opportunity to fight a monster guard. I had to fight anybody, you know what I mean?
Yep.
To say he fought there, so I just picked him, and you know, I picked him because of his style. He's come forward fighter.
Yeah.
And it was a good fight, like, but that's what it is.
Yeah, and then obviously you mentioned your good mate Michael Conlon there. He's had some unbelievable fights. Unfortunately, just got beat there for the world title fight against Lee Wood. Cracking fight, one of the best fights I've ever seen, actually. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. The class. No, me and Mick's boxed all in the world together. So soon Mick broke on the Irish team. We've been traveling everywhere together, so expecting WSB everywhere. We've trained, and even with that, like we were training Jordan all the time too, just me, him, and Mick. Yeah, it was great to be sharing obviously a card. So it's good to say I've shared cards with all boxing friends as an amateur pro. So yeah, definitely it's great.
Yeah, and then obviously this year as well at the Fela, Michael Conlon will be fighting again, making his return against Mariaga. Is it? I don't know much about him, but I'm sure it'll be a cracking night. Yeah,
well, I know that a bit more, Mariaga. People think he's just a journeyman. He's not. He's actually it's going to be a very, very hard fight for Mick. Your man's actually very, very good. This is a hard comeback fight. It's as hard as a comeback fight you'll get. Like if you looked at Mariaga versus Lomachenko, you know, look at Lomachenko's face after the fight. It looked real well marked up. Like, I don't know too much. He's fought Valdez as well. I know Valdez put him down. I don't know if he's taught them, but he's fought some big names. His first week came to some Jamaican player, big puncher. Can't remember his name, but he's only lost to the best. He's only lost to the best. So Mike will be on the game, but
yeah. And then obviously you then retired from boxing. What have you been doing much outside of boxing? Doing any bit of coaching or anything?
No, to be honest, I love helping out, but for like grassroots level out there, I definitely help out, but I haven't got time with my job. I'm working in boxing, so I'm a development officer for ultra boxing. I'll do other stuff to say, but I just haven't got time to be properly in a club coaching kids because obviously the time to go with my job, my family. So
yeah, and then a bit over lockdown as well. You started your own podcast as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so I have my own podcast, Podcast. I had some great guests, and I had some great guests lined up, but some of the background happened with the guy who was helping me edit it. A few problems, but I guess to be honest, it's lost interest. But while I was doing it, I really did enjoy it.
Brilliant. Would you ever think of bringing it back?
I don't know. Not let this monkeypox send in the lockdown.
Right, well, I think that's everything covered, mate. Thanks a lot for coming on.
No problem, Dora. Take it easy, mate.
Thank you. See you later.
See you later, Dora.
Thanks, mate. See you later.